Good morning. This is Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning, a rather wet morning, is Bandula Jayasekara, the former diplomat and senior journalist. Morning, Bandula.
Morning, Faras.
And this morning we also have Lieutenant Colonel Sumal Vikramasekara. Good morning, Lieutenant Colonel. And from the Sri Lanka Army Commandos. And we have a very special guest as well, don't we? We have Tisha, the parachuting dog.
Yes.
Golden Retriever. Golden Retriever. So this morning, if you're looking for some expose and holding the dear Prime Minister and so on accountable, forget it, because this morning we have members of the Sri Lanka Army Commandos, people actually who gave everything, not just a bit, including in some cases their lives. So we're here to celebrate some of the things that they do, the people who fought for our country. And Tisha is here too. So Lieutenant Colonel, tell me who are your colleagues this morning?
Yeah, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Sumal Vikramasekara, the commanding officer of the 4th Commando Regiment. At the moment, I have this Tisha is under command to me, and with me I have Major Sujit Siranjeeva, the chief instructor of the parachute training wing of Sri Lanka Army Parachute Training Wing. He is the highest, he possesses highest record for highest most jump in Sri Lanka for skydiving.
Right. And how many jumps is that?
It's 1,137.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and he's the one who made the historical jump that with Tisha.
Right.
And then Lance Corporal Sampath Hettiarachchi, who's again the member of the war dog group of canine group of the Commando Regiment.
Yeah.
And he's the handler of the Tisha.
Right. And was that some sort of record? Is it the first time you've jumped with the dog?
In Sri Lanka, it's the first time we jumped with the dog.
Okay.
Because this idea was given by our center commandant, the Brigadier Lantagamagi, and the brigade commander, Brigadier Senaratna, and then we were directed by the commander of the army and colonel of the regiment, Brigadier Noguera.
So the first time, the US SEALs did it the first time, didn't they?
Yes.
Or do they do it often?
They do it often. They deploy. This is actually the deploying. The parachuting is for the deployment of troops. It's a quick way of deployment troops. So they deploy dogs in a location where they want immediately. So they use this technique to deploy.
And in the battle with the LTT, did you all use dogs?
We have used not this one.
Not this one.
We have used for the tracking mission.
Right.
We have used dogs.
That is to get explosives or
to detect explosives. Especially, they are very effective on detecting IEDs. And at the moment, we have deployed some dogs in United Nations mission in Lebanon.
Haiti.
Not Haiti, Lebanon.
Yeah.
We have deployed some dogs for Lebanon. For that is also for the detection of.
How many dogs you'll have in the commandos then?
We have about 96 dogs deployed all over the country.
Oh, I see.
Which belongs to different breeds and for different tasks. That is for sniffing, that is detection of explosive. Then we have dogs for the tracking mission, and we have the guard dogs.
Whereas I thought, before we proceed, if we can, our producer can show the clip of how Tisha and the Major did the parachute
I wonder if
jump.
we can show you the clip now of Tisha and
Major
Chiranjit's parachute jump.
You see, like, after that, I think Tisha is running to him, the trainer. After that's what really Tisha is doing. So, what made Major Chiranjeeva select Tisha and do this? What was the thinking behind?
And actually, when we decided to do this thing as experimental jump, so the main challenges was to find a suitable dog for that. So, in our kennel, the Tisha is the most obedient dog we have.
We can see that now.
Indeed. Tisha, you're lovely.
So the dog has to be extremely calm in nature, because if she panicked during the jump, it may.
So there was no training.
No, there was no such specific training given for her for this parachute jumping.
Whose idea was this? It was Major's idea, or you thought, get this to jump with the dog?
No, the idea was given by the first Center Commandant Brigadier Gamage, then the Brigadier Senaratna of our brigade commander. They gave the idea that we should go test something like this.
For us now, Major Chiranjeeva has done 1137. Was that the 37th one was with Tisha? Now he's going for a world record, so we can ask him what's this world record.
What is the world record?
I would like to carry 100 and the biggest flag is 110 feet one.
Right. That was an American.
American, yes. I like to do more
bigger than that. So you hope to carry a flag that is 112 to 114 feet.
Yes.
Is that very difficult, Lieutenant Colonel?
Yes, because once you come with the parachute, it gets the effect of the wind.
Right.
So the maneuverability of the parachute always depends on the wind.
Right.
So to control the parachute and maneuver the parachute with the flag of that length, which will be a huge task.
Right.
And you need a lot of experience. So he has all the experience for
that. And then
that.
how many feet up do you start jumping?
4,000 feet.
Right.
4,000 to 5,000 feet.
And then what kind of aircraft do you jump out of?
In Sri Lanka, Air Force available Mi-17, MiL-17 aircraft.
Okay.
That one is suitable for that.
For us also, with your permission now, Tisha has been with us since 5:10 in the morning in our studios. So what we thought is to, before Tisha gets tired, show some tricks by Tisha if he can.
Yes, does she do any
tricks?
Yeah,
she will show you. What Tisha can do before she gets too tired. She did that in the Sinhala program also, so...
Indeed. Tisha is a golden retriever,
2.5 years.
2.5 years old.
Good.
Oh, look at that. Very good.
Sit.
This is basic obedience.
Up. Step. Up. Tisha. Step. Sit. Step. Good girl. Step. Up. Tisha. Up. Up. Step. Good girl.
Oh, very good.
Step.
Very good, Tisha.
Sit.
Very good indeed. Oh, you're
very
good
to
girl.
get jumping. Just show a bit more. I know Tisha must be very tired being at our studios from morning. Tisha woke up before you for us today.
Oh, indeed. Oh, goodness me. Oh, very good.
Suddenly she has got very active.
Tisha is a golden retriever, a lifespan of about 10 to 12 years, and considered one of the most intelligent of the species.
Also for us, we were discussing with Colonel and Major, now people are always here in talk of the police dogs.
Yes.
But these are these, army dogs. So that's also very interesting. They are
It is.
more
It's
active when they get into more operational duties, right? And
Yes.
also, Colonel, can you explain an actual situation where
Yes.
the commando dogs, I know Tisha is too young, but what you all faced?
Yeah, we have one of the dog called Snowy. We had, but during the operation, she died because it was during.
She died in action.
Died in action.
Okay.
That there was some terrorist, and we were asked to find them, and we put this Snowy onto action, and Snowy did tracking for 2 days, and was able to find.
Was this in the north?
In the north,
Okay.
and was able to find the location of where the terrorist was hiding.
And then how did...
Then she was fired upon by the terrorists, and by that during the confrontation she died.
And also, for us, we were discussing before, like, to your information, like the same thing would happen in Paris. And that dog, and then Russia decided to gift a
Oh, yes, of
dog. So
course.
we were asking, what was that story?
During the Paris incident, they used the dog called Diesel for their.
That was a German Shepherd or a...
not German Shepherd.
Mokadde Paris?
Belgium Shepherd.
Belgium Shepherd.
Belgium Shepherd was used for that mission, and that dog was able to detect the explosives, but that suicide bomber exploded.
Yeah.
With that, she also died.
That is where President Putin decided to after that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But we have found that there are so many occasions internationally. These dogs have given their lives to save their handlers.
Yeah.
When they see that some danger for the handler, they try to protect, and they give life to save the handler.
Is there any chance, Pandula, that Tisha will be called up for war crimes?
No, this is what, like our dear friend Shamindra asked this question. So I'm sure you can ask whoever, whether Tisha will be. But Tisha was not involved. She's just 2.5 years.
Indeed, yeah. She's born in this side of the victory.
Yeah, that's...
But there is some relevance to the armed forces, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. So that's very interesting. That was a good question by Shamindra.
Actually, and also in this context currently of the budget, where the finance minister very boldly decided to cancel the vehicle import concessionary permits, and then there was a lot of lobbying, and I think our dear Prime Minister has announced a slightly different mechanism. However, it might pay people to remember that, and I'm indebted to a fan of this program, Parakrama Disnaika, who says to our fellow Sri Lankans, just to share a thought, there is so much fuss about doctors and others not getting duty-free permit. The others, para means, is these parliamentarians and members of the Sri Lanka Administrative Services. No such thing from the members of the armed forces. Sure, they feel it too, after having sacrificed so much. That is why it is said, some gave little, but few gave everything. These are the men and women who considered bearing arms for our country, and who considered it was a privilege and an honor to do so, and laying their lives was sacred and an honor. And dogs like Trisha too.
And then these
gave it all up.
doctors go on strike.
They go on strike,
Asking for
and they
duty-free permits.
They threaten and they cajole the government into giving them concessionary permits, where the constitution of the country guarantees equality for everyone in Sri Lanka. You don't need to be Sri Lankan, but if you're in Sri Lanka. And so it's good once in a way for the Republic to sit back and appreciate and acknowledge the role of the armed forces, who obviously gave everything in the pursuit of bringing peace to our country.
Yeah. Colonel, now, is there now your army mascot, Kandula, is known as Sergeant Kandula. There's a rank, I think Kandula gets a salary, all that. What about dogs like Tisha and your commando dogs? Do you will give them a rank, or what's happening?
We don't, at the moment we don't have such system, but we are working on it to have some sort of things for them also. But they have a special ration
Yes.
issued for them from the army for their maintenance and medicine, everything for their well-being.
US and all, do they have rank, right, for the dogs?
Yes,
they
have.
are
They
doing
have.
a lot.
Yeah, they have.
So you're trying to bring this
we
up.
had.
On that note, we'll take a short break and find out more about Tisha and the parachuting dogs in a moment. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsline from the Newsfirst studios in Colombo. And Bandula,
I think both of us seem to be enjoying this program more. We are not talking of politicians, so I think it's a happy day for us.
We need to have more dogs on the show.
Definitely, and after all, man's best friend.
Indeed.
And we always say never to insult, some of the Sri Lanka, we have this way of calling a man a dog. We should never insult dogs.
No, because that doesn't do the dog any good.
And when men, you can call the dog a man and insult, we should do that way. No, because this is really the famous thing. They'll wag the tail, they'll appreciate if you give food, the whole gratitude.
Indeed.
It's all about, what's your dog? You have a...
I have a Great Dane. He's called Bailey. And he's very good, actually.
Yeah.
But he can't do half the things that Tisha can.
So he follows the master, right?
Yeah.
He follows the master.
Can't do anything.
Slow walk, lazy like you, or what?
No, he keeps guard.
God, watching over you.
Indeed. Lieutenant Colonel, does Tisha know that you are the boss?
Yes, he recognized.
Right.
She recognized.
Okay. And
Then he's the...
Yes, when sometimes when I visit the kennel, she stopped her training and she comes
she stands
to
to attention.
Yes.
Right.
It's because this is the command structure of the forces they follow.
Tell me, what does one have to do to join the commandos? What's the entry requirement?
The officers, if to join as officers, first you have to enlist to the Sri Lanka Army.
Right.
And you have to graduate from the Sri Lanka Military Academy, and then you have to choose the commando regiment.
Right.
To join this elite force. But to join as the other members, we can direct. We at the even these days we are conducting a recruitment. So they can join directly to the commando. Then they will have the recruit. Initial they will have the recruit training. Then those who are qualified in the recruit training will have to do the commando selection course and the commando course. That will for 1 year. The process is 1 year. Then after they graduated with the commando, and they can only wear this maroon beret.
Yeah. There's so much of interest by children, everybody. They see the parachuting, the skydiving. What's the interest? Can you explain to our viewers more about that? There's, people as kids, they all see you all jumping. There's more about how they get involved. If you could tell our viewers on that.
Yes, this parachuting is more adventurous and more attractive sport in today's world.
This has become a sport.
Now it has become a sport. So although it's not that popular in Sri Lanka, but internationally there is. It's a very popular sport, but it's very risky because even in the parachute it says even no matter how much this parachute is, the manufacturer is best in the quality of the parachute, how best you maintain it. This parachute the parachutes are likely to malfunction, and which may cause death or fatal injury.
So it's the same thing. Skydiving, parachute is the same.
Yeah,
or it's different?
There are two different things. That parachuting, that there is something called basic airborne. That is, you jump from about 1,000 feet, and the parachute is hooked to the aircraft. So when you jump out, it will automatically open.
Yeah.
But skydiving is not that. Skydiving, you may jump from at the altitude of 10,000 feet, then you fall down free without a parachute. And at the free designated height, you manually open your parachute. So you have to be stable in that. If you are not stable, you are likely to twist or topple.
So far as we
So have you jumped?
yeah, they are both two skydivers.
I'm a
So
skydiver.
what do you do? How do you? I'm sure, like Bandar was about to say, if I did this thing, I'll be turning around like that.
But you
So
should take
how
the
do-
risk,
how do-
Faraz.
how does
You
one
should take
be
the risk
stable?
at least 1,000 feet. Maybe you should take for our viewers.
Perhaps Mr.
Do that.
Arjuna might want to sponsor it. Do you think?
Maybe have a parachute with central bank, right?
Yes. But tell me, so how do you keep stable? How do you not? how do you not
It's a very simple body position.
Okay.
You have to adopt. The only thing you have to
So
make
do you jump down or do you sort of jump out like that? How do you jump?
when with the experience you can exit at any way.
Okay.
There is no hard and fast rule with it. But for the beginners, we say to open their hands and just go out facing the aircraft.
Facing the aircraft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But is there like age limit? I know like President,
How old were you? Yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
President George Bush Senior. At
Yes.
87, I think he did this
yeah, he did a tandem jump.
tandem jump. Yeah.
Yes,
Which is-
that's a tandem jump. That is a very experienced jumper. Hung him
Oh, that's
on his belly,
Yeah.
and then like what Sujit did with the Tisha.
Tisha.
So they jump out, and then they fall with free fall
Yeah.
for some time. Then they open the parachute and land safely.
See, about this major's record, I mean, where are you planning? When are you planning? Is it in golf phase? I read some it's going to be in golf phase.
Still,
How are they going?
still we are in the planning process.
Oh, I
of this.
see.
We have not yet decided where to be done and where is the venue.
Can I ask, have you all three of you experienced frontline action?
Yes,
You have.
yeah.
And you're all very. How old were you when you joined the army?
I was just 19.
And how old were you when you went to the front line?
22.
22. What did your mother and father think?
Actually, my mother did not like when I was joining the army.
Of course, she's a sensible woman.
But my father, he really liked. But it was my childhood ambition to join with the army. From my at the age of 13, I started doing school cadetting, thinking that someday I'm going to join the army. That was my ambition, and I'm happy.
What about the major? Like how many years he's going to? I read that he's going to retire soon or something like that. How many years has he served?
I was joined the army in 1986.
86.
Now already 30 years.
30 years. How old are you now?
Now 48.
48. Faraz, also
Absolutely amazing.
when we are discussing, I mean there are various like sports are sponsored. You
Yeah.
know, I was speaking to some of my friends yesterday.
Yeah.
So these things, you know, like trying to achieve a world record, I think, you know, people have to look at these also to support this type of, you know, games
Indeed.
and
And
shooting.
especially at least to
Yes.
support the activities of, let's say, Lieutenant Colonel Sampat Hettiarachchi, who's in charge of the training of
Yeah.
Tisha and these dogs. Sorry, Lance Corporal, I beg your pardon. I wonder if you all should have a program to encourage the public to fund these things. Perhaps we could
We could
ask Defence Secretary if he would consider such.
Yeah, because I mean,
such
like
a
we
move.
have reached out and where we can play a role. That's what we was.
Because that increasing defence budget might come down a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you know, gentlemen, thank you very much. Well, thank you for representing.
Maybe
and
you have to
looking
wake
after,
up Tisa before you wind off here to get.
Indeed.
Tisha is sleeping, so
Thank you
viewers are
for-
saying.
Thank you for keeping our country safe. It's not often that we get to meet people, the frontline people, so close. So we do appreciate that, and I'm sure all the people in this country appreciate your efforts. And Tisha's probably very tired this morning after being here at what?
From
About
5:10 in the morning.
5:10. What do you think, Bandula? The Prime Minister's announced new regulations about these vehicle permits. So they have in the end given in.
Yeah, that's sad, and
Yes,
like see
they
doctors get free education and they hold us to ransom.
Indeed.
And then they go abroad, they make lots of money. I think that's wrong.
Well, they can go abroad and make money.
They still make,
and bring
even
it
though
back.
private practice is bad, I'm sure they do things. Like
Yes.
that, people don't spend much time to check patients. That's what is needed.
Indeed. I think it's bordering the disgraceful when these people ask for privileges that the next man isn't
And
able
also
to
for us,
get.
like you said, okay, give it to members of the forces, give it
Yes,
to
why aren't
principals,
why aren't the
teachers.
other- exactly.
And
Well,
the
so-
teachers don't get much paid, the
I'd like to
principals,
know-
they educate us.
Yes, I'd like
give
to
it
know
them.
if Prime Minister would consider giving all members of the Sri Lanka Armed Forces a duty-free permit. Now that's to put the cat amongst the pigeons. Why don't they do that? Nobody will complain, dear Prime Minister.
And also, I'm really pushing for school teachers and principals because they are poorly paid.
Yes, I noticed you said this
Yeah,
yesterday.
because for us, that's important to look after them because they are educating all of us. You put them out to the society, the students.
Indeed.
So, like we say, like in Sinhala, like Guru Piya, those things are important.
Indeed. And I think we're coming down to the end of our show this morning.
Teachers getting active
And
again.
Tisha, why don't you come and join me while we say bye-bye? Can you come here? No, Tisha's not coming. However, please remember, amazing takes time and legendary requires patience. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on our show this morning, and we hope you come back. And after the world record, come and tell us about that. And Tisha, thank you for being on the show. Bandula, thank you.
Varas.
We've had a wonderful time this morning, and this is Newsline. We wish you a very good morning. Take care, and God bless.